Okay.
Can
Yeah. Yeah. So it is the day before Christmas, 2017, and in March this year we had an idea to open up a tailor shop for e-textiles and wearable technology, and 9-10 months later we're sitting in the shop.
Yeah, it happened. Opened 2 weeks ago. No, a week ago.
Yeah, 10 days ago.
10 days ago.
We had the opening here in the space, and since then we've been open always Friday, Saturday afternoons, and we've had a few customers. No, we haven't had any customers. We've had people come in and be interested, and ask questions and express that they think they might want something, but I think that's normal, that it takes time to then actually go away and think more about what exactly it is and when you have time to order it.
Mm-hmm. I think I felt like actually there were quite enthusiasm in the opening, and quite a lot of people expressed they want to order, but I guess it takes time for them to come back and actually place an order.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the opening was an evening event, and we set up the space so that this opening collection that we were developing we're in the space now, but they're over here, and some examples to show people what's possible, and they could also try on. But then we also printed out some photos and documentation of previous projects and mounted them on the walls. So in general, the opening was this idea to communicate what's possible technically and conceptually, and what's our skills and our style of making. And then we gave a presentation.
Yeah, about like why we are doing this, what the shop is about, what is e-textiles, and then how you can order and pay. And and then there was an interesting question of if we would pay a tax on if we had paid by hours.
Yeah. So the payment model that we're experimenting with at the moment is so based on an example from the opening collection. One of them is this idea of embroidering light words onto existing clothing. So the materials cost about €12, and then it can take 2 to 3 hours to embroider some words onto an existing garment. And so that's €12 plus 2 hours, say. And then it's up to the customer to decide how much our hour is worth. If they can't, or they would rather exchange their own time for our time, we also offer this. And that's where the question came of, so if people then exchange time in order to compensate us for our work, do we file this in our taxes?
Like 20 minutes.
And we don't know, maybe we should ask the tax lawyer.
Yeah. Well, we could ask for the tax office for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
No, we could work there for 20 minutes, and that's our tax. Yeah. So what happened in December? It's our monthly report. Right?
Yeah, so in the past we've been trying to write up about what's happened, and we haven't got any video footage of the shop space, the renovations. So from now on, the shop is open. We're every month going to do some more videos.
Yeah.
And this month, well, mostly it was all consuming this opening event.
Yeah, exactly.
Painting this blackboard on the wall here.
Yeah, a lot of renovation work. We did renovate quite a bit before to kind of move into the space, but still the shop spacing and how we would set up it actually as a shop and how public could come in was a big question. And we spent at least one weekend intensively reorganizing things, so that
plumbing the sink.
Yeah, so people could actually come in and the place is safe. So lighting, we did a lot of work for lighting, things like this. Another huge amount of work went into making an opening collection, and we call it collection, but it's not like fashion brand collections. These are examples of what people can do, and not kind of collection line that you could have a copy of it, let's say. And we made how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces in total. Yeah.
And we'll do another video where, in the daylight, where we can show off these examples in more detail.
And related to the opening collection, we also started to work with Textilborg more closely. And Textilborg can do like patterning and material resourcing and also assembly. And yeah, we did this jacket.
So this came as also one of the collection items for showing how you can embed sensors to track something. In this case, the use of tools. So whether my scissors are in this pocket or not, crochet hook. There's a built-in e-textile sensing in each of these locations to capture what's being used or not.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to work with them.
Yeah, they are our home hub in this funding scheme that we're being funded with for the first 6 months of the shop, and so and they're based in Berlin. So yeah, and maybe this leads into this one of the challenges we foresee of like happening next is when we do start getting orders, how do we deal as non-tailors with tailoring not only the technology but the garments for these people?
Yes, so for some opening collections we did some like clothing items from scratch, and I used like a general female pattern to start with to construct jackets, for example. And from there to actually getting the size right and style right, and then have some kind of fashion design element into it and construct one jacket that works. It's not so easy. And also on top of that, we have to consider how to embed electronics. So yeah, all this flow, it will be very interesting how we will develop this further, and then also how smoothly and in time make it when we actually get an order from people. Yeah, and then with Textilborg we are talking a bit about kind of creating a style set patterns or some kind of basic pattern set that we can use. But yeah, this is something I think will come in January. Like that's the next big work that needs to be done in January.
Yep. So as I said, it's like tomorrow is Christmas break starts, so this will be the last day of the shop for this year. We'll be open again on January 8th. It's a Monday. Well, at least we'll be in the shop. Over the holidays, Anne Prahl, who we've also been collaborating with through this network, she's a sustainability expert for wearable technology, and she's going to write, from a critic kind of column perspective, write an introduction to longevity as a sustainability approach, which is what we also, through also talking with her, decided that we want to focus on that in terms of how we're developing the technology in the shop, thinking about something that lasts longer,
doesn't lose the value
as quickly as fast fashion and kind of buying a new laptop rather than fixing the one that you have that's broken.
Yeah, and then make sure that the design is meant to be fixable, like fixing. So nothing embedded deep inside that you cannot access, or nothing is really glued.
Yeah, so this idea of what makes something life's longer. One part is, you can repair it. So also that means you have maybe the ability to hack or modify it. So not just about fixing what's broken, but you need to make a change to it, update it. And for that also you need to have access to the files, the code, so transparency of all the information. There's some of the other aspects. Quality materials. It's not like the materials used are not going to break, other than that they're intended to not last longer. So
let's see how she would critique us. I'm really curious.
Yeah, so following this introductory column, she's going to write a series of critique columns critiquing our shop practice based on this longevity criteria. And that will happen in January, and we'll do another video then to talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Is it recording?
I hope so.